Good morning, USL4Daily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning my guest is John Stevens, the Vice President of Consumer Strategy for Shaw Industries. John, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, Kemp. It's good to catch up again.
Yeah, good to catch up with you. I wanted to talk to you about this role. Before we get into that, though, let's back up just a little bit. John, how many years have you been at Shaw?
This year, I'm in my 32nd year at Shaw.
Yeah, and you're actually married to Shannon, who's also a Shaw employee. So, I mean, it's Shaw all the way through, isn't it?
We definitely have become a Shaw family. Yeah, no, and it's been such a great organization with amazing people, and I've had such amazing opportunities in my career to do different roles and different challenges. 32 years later, I'm more bullish about Shaw than I was when I started, that's for sure.
All right, so you started on the residential side like most people at Shaw do, and then you got the Vice President of Marketing role for Shaw Contract, and, I mean, you stood tall in that role. I mean, obviously most people know Shaw Contract, as far as a brand in the specified business, is probably the largest in that sector. So, I mean, you were the go-to guy, the kind of the icon in the business for a long time. And then just 4 or 5 months ago, you took this other role, right?
Yeah, and what I'll say, icon's a strong word. But, yeah, we had a great team at Shaw Contract, and I loved that business and the business we were able to build together. But when presented with an opportunity on the residential side, which, as you know, is certainly the large part of Shaw, to be involved in this new, building a new team and approach for our business, I was really humbled and thrilled at the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And most people know in the flooring business that it breaks out basically 2/3, 1/3, 2/3 of it being residential. So you've stepped over into that side. One of the reasons I wanted to do this interview is because, you hear people talking out there all the time. I go out there and spend a lot of time with your dealer base, and they hear about this new role, Vice President of Consumer Strategy, and they're like, "Ooh, what's that?" So I'd like to explain in this interview exactly what that is, because this is not a transactional situation. This is really something that Shaw wants to do under the new leadership with Nina Locicero. You need to know more about what the consumer's thinking so that you can help your transactional customer, the independent retailer, do their job, right?
Yeah, there's no question about that. So backbone of our business is servicing our retail clients who deal with the consumer every day and try to create world-class customer experiences, and that's not going to change. In fact, a big part of this consumer strategy team is, like you said, how do we really understand that consumer journey? How do we become more active in connecting all the resources we have from a product and sampling and merchandising with our retail partners to create the best consumer experience possible? So we promote the category, we drive sales in flooring, and really you compete for that dollar across all the remodel projects that flooring becomes a real high priority for consumers. I think that benefits Shaw, but it certainly benefits our retail partners across the country.
Mm-hmm. So what you've been working on is building a team, and I was hoping you'd tell us a little bit about the team you're building and what the steps are to be able to accomplish your goals.
Yeah, and you mentioned the time at Shaw Contract when I was so lucky to work with amazing people there, and some that, obviously the leadership that's still there and doing great work. And one of the things I was excited about is building a team of people I could learn from that brought a really diverse range of experiences in retail and consumer and digital, and we've been able to do that. And in fact, on our consumer team, there's 3 amazing directors. Nikki Riemann, who has been at Shaw for a number of years, has experience outside this industry, but is really focused on customer acquisition and growth and looking at our media strategy and how we continue to connect more consumers to the Shaw brands, where they love our brands and then connect to our retailers to do their projects. And then Amanda Wilkinson, who's our Director of Demand and Revenue Generation. Amanda comes from the industry, actually. She has more experience and talent and insight in digital marketing and both how you connect to consumers, how you develop metrics around that, how you use all the channels and tools in place. And her experience has really allowed her to come into Shaw and make an impact right away. And then finally, actually starting this week, is Bailey Walton. And Bailey is our Director of Consumer Experience, and she has, again, this group of strategic thinkers with a diverse background. She comes from the design world, both working for a firm in D.C. for a number of years, and then has been in Chattanooga doing design and working with a major builder a high-end builder here in the local Chattanooga area, where she led their design and involved in marketing. So 3 people who bring different perspectives and skill sets to our business and our team, who can help us look at that consumer journey, all those touch points, and connect those consumers with our retail channel so we can provide the best consumer experience for flooring, make them want to do business with the Shaw brands, want to do business with our retail partners, and really create that world-class experience.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you've got some people that are moving over to other roles at Shaw, and then you brought in some new players.
Yeah, for sure. And then our whole marketing team that Nina has built with a digital strategist and creative and a brand team really working together to drive our brands at Shaw forward, again, creating that consumer demand and connecting it with our retail partners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you go to Wharton School and you're, in your role and they ask you who's your customer, the answer they're looking for is the end user's your customer. So you have to know what the end user's thinking to be able to help your transactional customer serve their end user better, right?
No, for sure. I mean, to me, Kemp, marketing is about empathy. Yep. It's really being able to put yourself in the shoes of everyone that you connect and touch, and we really have to understand the consumer, not only who's buying, but the family. I mean, what their goals and aspirations in their home is. We have to understand our retailer and our channel partners, what's important to them, what their measurements are, and how we can help that. I mean, we have to understand all of our colleagues at Shaw and really have that empathetic approach to marketing. That's what we're trying to really, through research, the connection, through conversations with our retail clients, a connection to consumers, to have that empathetic approach to marketing and building the brands at Shaw.
One of the things we hear through some research is that when the consumer does the online research and then goes in the store and the two messages don't connect, there's confusion, and that usually means they walk out. So that's got to get fixed for sure, right?
Absolutely. Anytime there's dissonance in that journey or that process, then that puts the consumer at risk. So we know when we look at that consumer journey, from awareness to research all the way to purchase and how they live with the product and then hopefully become brand advocates, consistency and experience, and I think that consistency goes back to empathy, understanding what's important to them and how we express it, and help our retailers create that consistent experience, both online and physical experiences. Those are the things that matter, and this is an experience economy. We all know that. We know that helps drive decisions and creates value in the chain and for the consumer.
All right, John. Well, thanks for telling us what you're doing and spending time with our listeners. Again, been talking to John Stevens about his new role as Vice President of Consumer Strategy for Shaw, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.